Oh man, here we go again talking about this guy. Hello everybody, this is N.M.P.D here, and today...
Oh, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
Today I am back at it again talking about the cupcake gravemind creepo man-child himself, EDP445, also known as Erectional Dysfunctional Predator, aka 445, 4 plus 4 plus 5 equals him only liking 13-year-old girls specifically, and only the number 13, for his taste of quote-unquote women, even though in reality they're children. They're kids, EDP. What's wrong with you? So it's been 2 months since I last talked about this guy, and oh man, there is a lot that I want to discuss, a lot that I want to show for footage, but I just didn't have time because I was mainly working on my main project. But I figured, you know, since it's going to take longer regardless of the project, I might as well make the time to make a video about EDP regardless, so fuck it. Now, if it's really necessary to do a recap lore of what EDP used to be and what he has done at this point of where he is today, I might as well give at least a quick recap on this, just a really quick one. So he was once a famous YouTuber. He's been doing it for about a decade until he decided to make the worst possible decision that nobody should ever make, no matter what. EDP made the decision pretty clear that he was going to plan on having sex and meeting up with somebody who he thought was a 13-year-old girl back in that apartment cupcake complex, but luckily it was a decoy, and he managed to encounter a group of racist scum and another vigilante group as well. Then he ended up starting to have some tears coming out of his face as soon as he found out that they were going to plan on calling the cops on him. He fled, and since then he tried to go on every existing platform on the internet possible, and at some point he ended up getting banned on all of them, and then he ended up making his own website, but it took a while, but eventually it got up, and it doesn't look like it's going to be shut down anytime soon. And then he made this response that took 2 long years, saying that it was all fake, like it was just a prank, it was just a setup, just a horrible act that gone wrong. You get the idea with that. Alright, that's where we're at this point. That's where I last left off with this man. Child, I should say. And now on July 7th of this year, EDP made a title called an official apology video? You're joking, right? This has to be another hoopla thing that he's trying to do, which obviously it is. He's trying to get some more sympathy points and trying to come back as usual, trying to reclaim the missing cupcakes that he once had. Like I've said so many times, and many others I bet, this is not going to work. Is that clear enough for you, EDP? This is not gonna work. What you did is beyond unforgivable. This is not something that you can just scrape off and come back to. And after hearing all the past shit and looking back at the older archives that he admitted to and what he's done, the videos that most certainly did not age well at all for him, and the hypocrisy, the lies, and him talking inappropriately to kids, yeah, this guy should not be on the internet for what he did. Like, ever again. So I'm only gonna play a couple of clips, maybe 3 if there's another thing that's important here, because it's mostly a bunch of pointless gibberish in his quote-unquote apology video, and it seems to be mostly just a bunch of gaslight stuff, and he doesn't really get into the actual topic at hand, and he just refers to the whole sting operation, that YouTube shit. He does not even mention it fully, which really is the first sign that he is not wanting to be accountable for his actions.
But with that being said, I want to take full responsibility for my actions that happened on April 21st, 2021. The entire YouTube shit that went down, the entire YouTube incident, you know what I mean, that went the fuck down. I'm not even going to get into it. You guys already know what the fuck happened.
And that right there proves my point with what I just talked about. He does not want to actually make himself held accountable. He just more so just wants to dodge the actual details of the topic at hand and just calls it that YouTube shit, or that YouTube incident, if you will, instead of just going deep dive headfirst into the anus and actually talk about it.
That I'm trying to go for in the distant future is redemption. You know what I mean? The only thing that I'm trying to go for is to restore honor and to restore a positive outlook on my name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
No, I don't know what you mean, and I don't ever want to know what you mean.
No. No? No.
And at some point he explains why the sudden apology after 2 years later, and he goes by saying that, you know, his lawyers pretty much tell him not to refer to anything in the cupcake is in it, which I immediately call bullshit. If that's really the case, why did he even make a response video claiming that it was all an act? Or before that, he goes out of his way and said that it's just not true. But if it were true, you cannot go out of your way and act like you're held accountable if you can't even actually talk about the situation. You know, get into the specific meat and potatoes of all that stuff. The cupcakes, if you will. If you're not willing to actually talk about it, then you're better off just shutting the fuck up. It's that simple. And then EDP is rambling about wanting a second chance and redemption and all that shit. And honestly, dude, there is no second chances once it comes to being a child predator. There's absolutely none of it. What you did is beyond unforgivable and unforgettable. The internet will forever remember what you are known for. And then EDP ended up talking about getting therapy, which is kind of ironic because he used that as an excuse to try to escape the situation from that sting operation. Then the last thing I kind of want to put out there for this so-called apology video is that he ended up apologizing for his friends and family who ended up abandoning him over it, but not the victims, and that should already be a sign on itself about his video. So overall, in conclusion of that quote-unquote apology video, I don't believe a damn thing he says. I really don't. He's nothing more than a lying flood infestation cupcake grave mine cockroach. That's all he is. And he's only doing this to try to come back. That's all there is to it, because there's literally no other way for him to live his life, apparently. The internet is pretty much all he has, and he pretty much fucked up all of that by his own doing. All for just wanting a simple, plain cupcake with the side of a 13-year-old girl. Now, before I really end off this video, it is important and crucial that I mention this part about EDP for a fact that many of you probably don't even know until now. If you think him filming himself taking a shit, or him explaining how he keeps beating his little cockroach meat, if you think that isn't worse enough, you're gonna be in for something, so buckle up if you're ready, because holy shit, I have discovered this about a week ago by seeing this archive video of him admitting that he stole used bras from his local laundry store. Here's the clip. Let that sink in. This might have been one of the first signs of him starting to go down this path of lust and or sexually desperate. And then eventually at some point he slowly became a goddamn child predator. And here we are today talking about him. And after all these years with his pattern behavior, I still can't believe he is not facing any jail time for this shit. What is his secret to avoid jail time? I mean, did he use his abnormal flood grave mine powers to obtain the skull heart from Skullgirls and wish that he would never face any kind of jail time no matter what crime he possesses? Or did he have Lester in his contacts and hit him up to get rid of those 5 stars from GTA? Or even better yet, somehow he has an infinite amount of Monopoly get out of jail free cards. Like, what the fuck is this? It is still absolutely incredible that he is not facing any kind of legal repercussions for doing this shit to begin with. Anyway, I'm going to end it off before I rant about this even more than I already should have. If you do like this, be sure to leave a like and comment what you think down below. Subscribe for more, and till then, I'm gonna keep making videos of EDP whenever the hell I want until he decides to get off the internet. And I'll see you guys next time.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake.
And then go back home.